Well, if you were thinking about getting Google Glass, it looks like you'll have to wait until they put it out for the consumer later this year. Beginning yesterday, they started pulling the prototype of the Google Glass from the market.
Yeah, but a lot of people have been asking the question, well, why did it fail? So we're about to hear from the folks at Google on why exactly they've decided to go back to the drawing board on this one. Google has always preferred to see its glass half full.
You know, the fact that you could build such a thing was crazy when we thought about it a couple years ago.
That was Sergey Brin when Google launched Glass in mid-2012. But more recently, when tech blogs and websites reported the Google Explorer testing program was ending, some saw the glass as half empty. That glass was done. Not true, according to CNET's Rich Neva.
The project is actually coming out on its own.
Meaning Google Glass will move out of the Google X research lab and will fall under the leadership of hardware guru Tony Fadell. Fadell used to be with Apple. Since then, he started Nest Labs, which makes smart thermostats. Google bought Nest last year for $3.2 billion.
He oversaw the first versions of Apple's iPod, and he's had great success with Nest.
Critics of Google Glass point out not all has gone smoothly for a product sometimes seen as less tech and more geek. Last year, Glass Explorer Sarah Slocum was attacked in a bar when she began videotaping without permission.
Cameras are everywhere. This is the 21st century, and this is just a part of the future. Obviously, people are having a hard time adapting to it and accepting it.
Then there's the Google barge fiasco. In October of 2013, news reports revealed Google's big secret project at Treasure Island was going to be a floating showroom primarily for marketing Google Glass. 4 months later, unable to attain the necessary permits for it, Google essentially abandoned the barge. Now, many folks at Google did say they expected the Glass to be launched as a consumer product at some point in 2015, but the price would have to go down significantly from $1,500 to like $400 or $500.
Incredible piece of technology here. Now, imagine if this cutting-edge technology had a purpose even more incredible. Imagine if Google Glass could help children with something like autism.
Let's put them on.
9-year-old Ryan can't wait to wear Google Glass. The frame holds a very sophisticated, tiny computer, and it could be a breakthrough learning tool for children with autism.
Okay, Glass.
There was a huge unmet need here. It was staggering when I realized how little progress we've made in autism. I've wanted to do something that impacts people in their daily lives.
Neuroscientist and entrepreneur Ned Sahin is the head and heart behind BrainPower. The company is working to address the range of challenges for people with autism. For example, reading emotions. That can be hard for kids on the spectrum.
And then happy.
So BrainPower is creating programs for Glass that help those kids navigate social situations, learn language, and focus while giving them constant feedback.
Now we're looking at what a child might see.
Here's an example of what appears in the tiny screen when you're wearing Glass. The icon helps the child understand the woman is happy.
This is giving a little tool and assist to daily life, but then we turned it into a video game.
Is this woman happy or surprised? Get it right, get a point. Glass keeps score. It can also direct a child back to conversation by popping an angry bird on the face of the person talking.
Then when they do look, the cartoon goes away and they get a point. It says, give me your attention, give me your attention. Ah, thank you, reward.
I think this takes it to a new level.
Autism specialist Dr. Martha Herbert
makes the child engage with the world around them, which is so helpful because it supports them to engage, but it makes it happen.
And unlike an iPad that requires a user to look down at the screen, Google Glass actually encourages the child with autism to look up, to make eye contact. And the built-in motion detector can sense every time he or she looks at the person who's talking.
It's heads up, and in a way, it gets out of the way.
I really wanted to see what it was all about.
Zuleika already sees a difference.
Happy and sad.
She's hoping long-term Glass can give her son Ryan a boost that helps him focus, learn, and have more fun, which is precisely what the BrainPower team envisions.
Day in, day out, little lessons like that, they get used to it, and eventually this becomes part of daily life.
That was Lisa Hughes reporting. The company Brain Power says they are now working to patent this technology, and they want families to test it, to explain their needs and give them feedback. And it's very important for children with autism because a lot of times they don't know the emotion. So to be able to have something that tell them what emotion they're seeing would be wonderful.
They just process it differently.
Process it differently.
Wow.
And as you can see, we have a set of Google Glass here on the set with us. Pretty cool.
Our director of digital media, Ethan Holland, was kind enough to loan these to me. I've never seen Google Glass before. I didn't know what it looked like. And $1,500 bucks, I was a little hesitant here. But as you can tell, these are like sunglass lenses. You can get the regular glass lenses. Here it is right here. And to turn it on, you simply tap it on the side. If I look up, it starts with a time thing and it tells me the commands that I can say to make it work right. And it's really fascinating. I do happen to know, as you know, I'm with the Laurel Fire Department, and there was a fire department that got a pair of these because they thought if they used this as part of their pre-plan for whenever they're fighting a fire, they come up on a scene, they can say, okay, what do we need to make sure that we do at this location? And it worked out really well. So I'm looking forward to seeing how the more consumer version will work out for us.
Right, right. Yeah. I think it's just the beginning. Well, Google Glass may be a big help for those who are autistic, but for one young man living with autism, his biggest inspiration came from one company's generous gift. It's something that most teenagers dread. But for Dylan Johnson, the vacuum is something really special.
I love that a lot.
A mother's dream, a child in love with a machine that keeps the house clean.
We dressed him up for Halloween when he was 4 or 5 as a vacuum salesman because it was what he was passionate about.
A hobby that takes up much of Dylan's time.
And I like how it has all the attachments.
He watches videos on YouTube.
14.
So for his son's birthday, Jody Green decided to invite a special guest, asking them to send someone to do a demonstration at the party.
I told him my son's 14 and he's autistic, and he loves vacuums, and Kirby's his favorite.
Her surprise and Dylan's amazement.
We were all teary-eyed.
Made my day.
The company came through. Al Archie arrived on the big day, a moment captured on camera.
Which area?
After showing Dylan the ropes and how the vacuum works,
it was an awesome experience.
Archie delivered another surprise.
That's your new Kirby. Wow.
Oh, are you serious?
Now Dylan has his very own Kirby.
Told him thank you.
A DVD player.
A memory that will last a lifetime.
I've never seen him that happy.
And a very happy mother.
I couldn't have dreamt that this would happen.
Who probably won't have any trouble keeping her house clean. Dylan's mom says she's very thankful to the vacuum company for making her son's birthday so special. And she is also grateful that this story is helping bring more awareness to autism.
That is incredible. There are so many questions that are still surrounding autism, and now there's a new study out about autism and a possible link to the food that we eat. Experts say a chemical in broccoli sprouts could help some of the behaviors associated with autism. Researchers looked at 40 teenagers and young men with moderate to severe autism. They found when taken in pill form, the chemical in broccoli sprouts called sulforamine also improved verbal communication and decreased repetitive behaviors.
That's the bottom line message. It's for the science community. This absolutely needs to be followed up with more clinical studies and also with more lab studies to understand exactly how sulforaphane is working.
Now, many parents of children with autism choose not to medicate. Perhaps those parents might be a little more inclined to use a natural substitute like this.
I would love to find something out there that says, yes, if you take this and it's completely natural and healthy and it will eliminate, I would try it in a heartbeat.
Scientists say sulforaphane may be found in kale and cabbage and could be helping people with autism because it's thought to reduce stress inside their bodies. Now, the study is a joint effort by scientists at Mass General Hospital for Children and the Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine.
That is a great story.
Amazing.
Well, it's always good to know that doctors and researchers are learning as much as they can in order to help. Up next, they say you learn the most about this man when you simply get in the car and go. After the break, we learn all about WBOC's very own Charles Paparella, a true Delmarva treasure.
Well, let's hear the story of this Delmarva man and the story behind his local brewery. How a simple pastime turned into a full-time job.
And want some chili to go with that brew? Later, we're cooking up a poblano black bean chili with an avocado cream. Delmarva Life, we'll be right back.